Hi, friends. My name is Irena. My name is Galaxy. And we actually came to the same cafe where we had a huge transformative journey. Actually, it was like a normal coffee and conversation between friends that turned out to be honestly one of the biggest transformations in my life, actually. And we were in awe of what we discovered, what I discovered personally, because she was actually helping me and that we decided to share with you guys here.
We wanted to share because the question that you have asked were like profound. And like we said, on this journey, there are a lot of questions and we need this clarity to come up, right? So then we decided, hey, let's put those questions here in the same coffee, right? And maybe to share for other people to have or to find the clarity or just take whatever like it's needed.
And because like we discussed, there is so many information out there.
Yes.
But so many false information.
Also.
And one of the main things that I was telling you, and I think this is exactly what people want to understand, what was for me like this huge epiphany.
Yeah.
I will try to explain the same way with them. It was very spontaneous. But basically, in the spiritual world, there is also ranking. Like you as a soul have a certain ranking regarding how high vibe you are, or how pure you are, or how your frequency is so high.
But these are all signals actually that you are trapped again. Because as soon as you judge, you're trapped.
I love this.
And therefore, yes, and we have these fields of community still, like even people sharing like how they feel. And then there comes a judgment of, but probably not spiritual enough, right? Is saying that actually. It's a judgmental mind. And here it says more about the other person. Because the person which is just sharing like how he feels and gets like a judgmental, it's like they lose this confidence like to talk about it or to share. And I feel this, I don't this word spirituality
I know,
actually.
me too.
Because it's also like very limited again. And or like it's already put with a lot of belief systems, which I feel like we need to how to clarify again.
Deconstruct. I don't know why this word.
Yes. Yeah. Deconstruct.
But yeah, so I think
Deconstruct and reconstruct.
okay.
That's a good one.
I actually think it will be beneficial for people watching. I'm just gonna say this is very vulnerable for me. I was really crying, like sobbing, and there is so much more, by the way, to release. But it's very vulnerable for me as someone who is a mentor, coach, someone who is basically coaching others to share vulnerably this what I'm gonna share today.
And before you share, I want to share something for them to see that because this is very important. Because even you're a coach and a mentor, as I am too, it's not about being perfect. It's more like also showing your human side to them. So I think we have to stop to be like this ideal authority. Oh my God, she has her life together. Oh my God, we're all doing it and we're all humans. We're all doing humans experience. And for some, the journey keeps going in a different way. It doesn't have to be lower. And therefore, it's just like very important that they can literally just see that you're sharing now something of your path. And it's super important to listen and to understand. I think that makes a good mentor.
I agree with you. I did receive actually this advice from people like, since you are, I don't even the word coaching or mentoring, I'm going to be very honest. I don't even I don't resonate with a coach. I never did. Not even with a mentor. I would just say someone who is sharing the light, the truth, authentically. So this is something I resonate with the most.
You said authentically sharing your light, right?
Yes.
And most people feel it's just the positive things. Authentically speaking means also to be like with all your aspects.
Yeah. So I was getting this advice, like my mom, my friends, my colleagues, don't share this shadow side. Like you said now, don't share the shadow side because when you share this side, you're gonna somehow be lower in this realm. It's like people will not then see you as someone they can learn from because you're sharing how weak you are.
Yeah, this is also so perfect what she's saying now. No, it's perfect because that's the fear that most people have, and it's understandable because we still live in realities where people judge a lot, right? But again, back to this authenticity and to sharing light, right? That also means you will trigger a lot of people. And you probably will stand there and sharing actually how you feel, like really truthfully. And people around you will point it out. And it can be very painful, but remember, this is truth, right? So in order to be in truth, you also have to not to get used to it, but that comes with a price. Because you cannot be authentic, but keeping the reality of others. And that's where most people do the other crossroads. So it's more going into people pleasing, which is also very understandable because we are social beings. We want to be connected to each other. And we don't want to, if we share something that someone else is abandoning us. But it's your truth. So when people start to project it on you or are you weak, it's also truth for you to see where they're standing.
I know what you said. What's coming in now when you are saying like it's the truth. Then if my value is the truth, then my value is the truth. My value is not showing myself perfect or impressing someone, but actually what you said. Yeah.
And also how you feel. Like you can even as a mentor or coach or whatever, in your professional life say, hey, I'm feeling that way. But I'm taking ownership. It's not like I'm feeling that way and then I'm complaining, right? Most people also, I'm not allowed to say it because then they think I'm complaining. No, you just share it. As long as you hold your ownership for that.
Now that we mentioned that recently that I broke my arm,
I remember you told me,
I had a scooter accident. It was actually interesting. It happened on the 8th of March, which is the Women's Day.
Yeah.
And it was really hard. Like it was so traumatizing for me. The whole experience. I don't want to get too much into it because it's not that important.
Yeah.
But basically, it was very traumatizing. Like it was very painful. I didn't know what's going to happen with my arm.
Yeah.
First time in my life, I'm having a surgery. They're putting the metal inside. I'm asking the doctor, will I be able to use my right arm? We don't know. We need to see. So there was a lot of things happening. And I filmed one video. I actually filmed the story as soon as I got out of anesthesia. I was like, hi guys, I was talking to it was like I wanted to share that authentic moment of me in a hospital bed with like oxygen mask. Like it was super vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I had nightmares for a month. And I was like one day crying and I filmed this video. I was telling to people like, this is how I felt. This is what I've been through. This is how I saw my life. And I remember one of my best friends who has like good interesting heart. Like I know that she had good intention. But she was like, when I see these kind of videos online of you crying or just like sharing vulnerably something that you're going through, then I get into this mood of wanting to help you instead of me wanting to learn from you as your.
Okay, but
it's so interesting.
It's very interesting what you're saying now because it's also, I think, a big topic out there. So let's clarify. This is your world. You have to take ownership and your responsibility of your own world. The other thing is her world. If she relies on whatever, like she wants to help or she gets triggered or she gets this is on her, right? And then what people do actually, and this is where it gets like this confusion and misunderstanding and disconnection actually, like they operate from their own bubble, let's say, and then I want you to make this. Like it's just, no, it's your ownership. It's how you react. This is on you. And she can share it with you, but it's hers. It's not yours. And the conflict mostly, or the misunderstanding starts there when we start to mix it up. Taking something there, oh, I want to hold something there. then it gets like this, you don't know who responsibility is it now.
I love it.
To clarify,
I love it.
You take your ownership of your world. If you want to share something out, you do. You cannot control anything from the outside. And for her, it's an invitation, right? To take ownership. What does it make with me?
I understand.
Right.
So what I understand is I was living in my truth. I expressed my truth. I didn't have any intention. There was, I'm not going to inspire people with my reel. It was just like, here I am. Here is the truth. I want to let it out there.
Yeah.
And this is her own perspective through her own lenses.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with me, but everything to do with her.
Yes.
Her life, her traumas, her everything.
Yes. And the invitation here for her is to check what is actually triggering me, because there was something triggering. That's her work. For you, it's actually to not
plan. Is it the word in English? Obey, not obey.
You just have to, literally, you don't have to explain yourself. You have to stand in your truth and to allow, really, without judgment, that's hers. That's just hers. I'm doing me. Four-pot. Like, it's not something you don't have to explain even.
Yeah, this actually can be the truth for every single area in our lives. What came to my mind now is my mom telling me, you need to be mysterious with a man. Don't tell him this. Don't tell him that. Because so there is a lot of this outside influences. But the truth is just one.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, because you mentioned, because we're doing actually these recordings, right? Because there are a lot of, I would say, belief systems, right? Operating in us, because we all have been grown up in this world, right? It can be different by culture, by growing up, etc. And now it's on us to reflect on these patterns, right? So the difficult part is always, I would say, family members, because you heard that voice of your mother probably all your life, right? And that's the difficult part, because it gets somehow sticked in us. And we are, and that for all of us, also me, like we have patterns sticked in us, which are running in our subconscious mind, which are still operating. As soon as the voice of your mom still comes up and is doing something with you, it still has value. The belief system has still value in how you move through life.
So it's interesting now. And I will try also to connect with the people watching, like what would they ask you in that terms? Because honestly, like you told me a lot of already important stuff, but I want to ask you again and again, so you can explain clearly like you did to me. So basically, I can have my own belief system and be like confident in it. But you get triggered when someone close to me says something like that. Just allow me to say. So my mom comes in and I have these beliefs. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to listen to this dating advice, for example. Then my mom comes in and she's, a woman needs to be mysterious and blah, blah. So what you are saying is that in that moment, I can become aware of the subconscious programming that is still maybe there. And I can feel it in my nervous system, right? Okay, tell me more. So let's be practical. This happens in the moment. I realize that I'm triggered by my friends or my... Tell me, what should a person do? What should we do in that situation?
Okay, so the first step to recognize the pattern. I always say it's like the 50% step until you get the 100. Because the first step, you have to be aware. If you're not aware, how can you change it? So a trigger means it's an information. What we do, or what humans learned, we suppress. How comes you suppress information? Because it's not showing up one time. It will show up your whole life. And it will have an influence for your whole life. So you can say, and for all the people can say, hey, I will live with this trigger. Or you can say, hey, this is actually influencing my life and my quality in my profession, in my life, in my relationship, in my friendship, whatever. I don't want to have that. And then when the trigger comes up, it's the information, we getting aware, and then we stepping back and seeing we have to go deeper. We have to have a deeper understanding in which system, because the subconscious has different layers.
What does it mean, different layers?
I call it like it's an onion, okay? We can, I make an example how subconscious or consciousness is working, right? So I tell you, Irena, there's a hole in front of the door. Just make sure if you go out, just jump over it. And then as we are humans, we're busy, we have this information, and then you open the door and there was something, right? But then you get bam. So the next day, probably, you open the door and then you're like, I have to jump over it. So that's the process of becoming more aware.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very important.
I understand the analogy.
Because most people make now pressure that in order to meet your mom, you have to be perfect again and to be integrated. And it's not working that way, right?
Yeah.
Your mom can literally, especially family members, can oh my God, they can trigger you maybe your whole life, right? So it's not about being perfect. It's maybe also how you are able to handle your situation. And by that, you have to go deeper to understand the trigger from the topic of your mom. So she created you, what was it? Like you have to be mystical.
So many rules, rule book.
But yeah, your mom. Hopefully she's not watching. Oh, she's watching?
I don't know. But yeah, so you have to be mysterious, don't share, like never share, and like 10 things never to share with the man.
And now
like a rule book, like every person, they have it, no like belief system, like
we have belief system, but I think most people are not aware because it's normal for us. The way humans are raised, it's normal how they operate.
Okay.
So they're not aware that's a belief system. They're looking through their lens and it's normal. They just realize it when someone else is doing something different. They're like, you're different. But it's
so they think the world functions that way that they perceive it. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Like almost this is the truth of reality.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then there are people that want to learn about, okay, how can I remove this trigger or this belief system? Now I'm asking you, because that's the deeper work you have to do. Now I'm asking you, so she's giving you a rule book how to date. It's funny actually. But it's a good sample. Let's go for that. Tell me, what is your Irena's belief system for dating? Do you agree with your mom, or how you feel about it?
What's interesting about this and what we talked about, that was actually the main reason we came on here, is that I thought that if I perform a certain way, looking there now because you already know, but I thought if I perform a certain way, if I do these certain things, that I'm going to be in a way high ranking or pure or everything I want, I will be deserving of it. And so by doing this, I was also putting myself in a box, because
what you did is you said, in order to get that, I have to be in a certain way, probably also like her mom told her how to be. And in that moment, from our own, we get like this disconnection and we are someone running from this one, and it's actually not serving yourself.
I think this is something people will resonate. So I honestly don't know if this is astrology or what is it, but I always, ever since I was little, I wanted to know who I am, right? Every single one of us, who is Irena, right? Or who is the me? Who is the self that I'm talking about? And I wanted to put myself in a box. So Irena is the kind of person who, and then Frida.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know who I am, what is my purpose, what do I tolerate, what are my values, what are my